Happy Sunday, my friends. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I wanted to get on here and talk to all of you guys about the nightmares of building a life insurance agency. But more importantly, if you're new to the industry, are you ready to embark on building out an agency? Well, this video is for you. I'm excited about building out this new studio that I'm working out of now. This is in my house here in NorCal. And over the next few months, I'll be building out my studio with some neat things that I'll be adding here. But for most of you guys, that have been watching my content, I've only used a cell phone, no editing, no real lighting per se, and uploading content over all these years. But now, because of the amount of training we're doing, we're taking it a little step ahead and adding the studio element to it. So I thank all of you guys that follow me and continue to support my channel. But today I wanted to talk to you guys again about the nightmares of building an agency. If you're new to the business, are you really prepared to do that? Do you have all the facts before you go and start investing in recruiting, training? Well, hopefully this message will find you today on a Sunday and it gives you, some more information so you can analyze. But for me, I'm going to give you the same advice I was given when I first started selling insurance. And pretty much within like a year, 2 years of me starting my career, people started approaching me wanting to do what I was doing because obviously I was doing very well at it. My first year, I grossed $113,000. My second year, I doubled it. And it wasn't very hard for people to reach out wanting to be a part of what I was doing. But when I sat down and talked to my mentor at the time, and I asked him that I want to build an agency, he asked me this. He said, "Can you afford it?" And at the time, I really didn't know what he was talking about. But what he further explained was, can you afford to stop what you're doing to train somebody else? And he asked if my residuals were enough to cover my monthly bills. And at the time they were. And he made it clear that if I was going to train someone, then I needed to make sure that Laura Herrera's affairs were in order, my bills, before I can go and help somebody else. And I thought that was one of the most simplest ways to help me understand if I can help somebody else do the same. And, the last couple weeks, my personal production has been very, very low. And before that, I've been trying my dead level best to keep my production, personal sales, about $5,000. That's what I've been doing for the last few weeks this year and, last year as well, that I've documented. But for the last couple weeks, my sales have taken a slump. Why? Because I've been focused on working with other agents like Andrew Purple, Amador, Frank. These are 3 new people that are new to my platform. And guess what? I have spent my time and energy training them, listening to their calls. And in the meantime, that's cost my personal sales. Now, in my case, I got years and years of insurance renewals that pay me every single month. So I could afford to take a week off, a month off. In fact, I got residuals. I could do what I want in terms of that part. But when I'm out there training agents, again, it takes away from that opportunity. But because I have those renewals, I can afford to do it. So I'm asking you, if you're new to the business, let's say you're a year into this, and you're being pressured to start building an agency, Can you afford it? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time you hold off on it for now until you can. Can, the renewals that you currently get that pay every single month cover all of your bills? And if the answer is yes, then maybe you can start taking on agents. Because what good is it to hire people if you can't train them and help them find success? It just won't work out. And here's another thing. Anytime you go and start building an agency, not only, you went out and hired these people, but you invested your time into training them. And if they don't do anything for you, or they don't go out and make sales, or they don't have any success, there's no one there to make up for the time that you invested. So for example, in my case, the last couple weeks, I've taken a hit on my personal sales because I've been training these other reps. And if they do nothing, then I've technically lost the 2.5 weeks of my training. But luckily for me, in my case, every one of these reps have already submitted a piece of business and have started on the path of making sales consistently. But ask yourself, if you go out and hire 10 new people and you sacrifice the first month of your personal sales because you spent it helping these others, and none of them made a sale, or it was all talk and they didn't do nothing, who lost? Well, everybody lost. The agents that you spent time training, but you are the one that loses the most, because if this is 100% what you make your income from, then for that whole month, all the training, all the recruiting, everything went to the side basket because no one made anything happen. That right there is the risk. So I would caution you, if you're new, use the residual as a way to gauge if you're ready. Like my mentor, Ray Berrigan, did with me many, many years ago. Again, at the time, I was earning about $12,000 to $15,000 a month just in renewals and residuals from the company that I was working for. And my bills at the time, and I'm talking about 2006, 2007, roughly, were $8,000, maybe $10,000 a month, every single month, to cover all of my costs. I had a young family at the time, and I still had that little extra cushion just from renewals. And I could afford to go out there and help somebody else. But if it wouldn't have been for that, chances are I might have waited and then started later, at a later date. Why is that? I want to add one more thing. Again, anytime you hire somebody to be an agent, you're responsible for them. And for the insurance company, they make advances. And when that agent leaves the company and they don't pay the advance, yes, that does follow that agent, but the insurance company is going to come knocking on your door, the agency owner, asking you to pay for that roll-up debt, which was maybe a chargeback balance that the agent left behind. And now they're no longer in the business, or they're at somewhere else, but they could care less about paying that off. Now it's up to you, the agency owner, to pay for that. But that's a whole different other topic that I'll shoot a video about here in the studio here. But for now, I would definitely make sure that you can afford to build an agency. And second of all, that you can afford to hire the right people, because the wrong people that leave you with debts only create what? Losses. So instead of making money, now you find yourself having to pay the insurance company the money they paid these people simply because you didn't do your job by hiring the right people and doing it at the right time. Peace.